fellowshippers, what up? It's been a long time, but we back. We back. Welcome to the Fellowship Hall with the Twins of Rev. I am Rev, aka Big Ham, aka the smartest one in the room. And I'm back with my fellas, twin number one, Keith, and twin number two, Ken. Fellas, if they remember you, say hello to the Fellowship Hall.
What's up, fellowship? It's your boy Ken, aka Odd Man Out, aka Moral Compass, aka been so long I forget whatever else you guys call me, but it's good to be
Been
back.
so long.
Oh, okay. I guess Ken's not gonna introduce me today because Rev is interrupting, but I'll introduce myself. What's
Sorry.
up, fellowship? This is Keith. You know me, the moderator. I know you. You know me. Let's go ahead and get into this. So you know what we've been doing, or what we would have been doing if we had been here, is the shy, and we are basically 5 episodes behind. So today's pod, we're going to try to give a small recap, discuss, and then go forward. So hopefully you enjoy it. I think we're gonna have a lot of conversation for this season, or this 5 episodes. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and jump into it. I'm gonna get it started first with my first recap point, and that first recap point is basically the Emmett, Tiff, and a little bit of Jada storyline. So as you guys know, who've been watching The Shy, it was a good past 3 seasons, with odds and outs that didn't make sense, or we had a little problem with. But nevertheless, I would still give the show at least a B plus A minus because it was a good entertaining show.
B plus.
Storyline was fresh. Okay, storyline was fresh, and it was characters that you cared about.
Yep.
So we know Brandon was our leading guy at the time. I think we said that in the last podcast. Brandon was our leading guy. And now, in my opinion, at least, I feel like Emmett has taken over as the leading guy. I know Kev is still there, but I think Emmett is the leading guy now. So I want to get it started with a little recap, and then the fella's going to discuss it a little bit. So the Emmett and Tiff storyline, I am not a fan of. I don't feel like any man that's in love with his wife is going to share her with another man or men or whatever. And listen, check this out. And this may sound wrong, lady fellowshippers, but don't come at me too hard. Just hear me out. If a man was cheating on his wife, he still wouldn't want to share his wife with another man, because that's your one and only, in the type of sense, that's the lady you married. That's the lady that you put in your house, and you the mother of your kids. And you, at least in my opinion, would never want to share this woman. Even if you were a dog, even if you were cheating, you still wouldn't agree to share your wife. That's why I feel like the storyline is a little bit unrealistic. Now, it may be some small percentage that would do that, and if they're trying to capture that,
It's a lot of bit unrealistic.
if they're trying to capture that crowd, then they're alienating the 99% of us that don't feel that way. Again, even if we're cheating, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's not the way a man thinks. Maybe I'll say that's not the way this man thinks. But maybe
And
Raph and
here's
Kendrick are on the same page.
and here's another thing, man. Emmett wasn't cheating anymore.
That's
It
true.
was before they got married.
It was before
That's
they got
true.
married.
That's true.
He felt guilty about it. He
He
confessed. He
told
wasn't.
her
He
exactly.
was being faithful.
He was trying to keep it on the up and up.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we'll have much talk about that, but we got a lot to catch up with, and we don't want to hold you that long. So I'm gonna go ahead, but I
Let me
think
just
that's
say this real
unrealistic.
quick, Keith. Let me
Go
just
for
say
it.
this
Go
real
for it.
quick. And this is something that I think most TV shows and movies go down this path, is that when one character has to tell another character something that may be, earth shattering or something like
Yeah.
that, as soon as they get out their confession, no other dialogue occurs, and the other person just reacts.
Knee jerk
All he had to
reaction.
do was try to explain this was before we got married, blah blah blah. But no, he says this, and then she gone. And it's not just in this show. It's just like I see that in so many TV shows and movies, and it bothers me because to me it's lazy writing, because
Yeah.
they constantly carry that over from show to show. Where if somebody has some confession to make, there's never real dialogue. They say the confession, and then everything else changes immediately after that. There's no room for actual discussion, which I
That's
feel
right.
in a real world situation,
Has to
even if
be.
the other person is angry and upset with you, I'm still going to make sure I try to get out all the facts and let them know what the timeline was. And things like that bother me.
Yeah, I agree, Ken. Completely agree. I feel like in our past pods, we've always said like we wish the characters knew what we knew, or that type of thing. But even if they don't know what we know, when they find out what we know, that's the time to have a discussion immediately. It's
Right.
not no, you said this, let's stop talking and I'm gonna go do whatever I want to do. Like that makes no sense. That doesn't make sense in the real world, in my opinion. But anyway, Emmett and Tiff, they're like I said, they're my favorite couple now, or they're my leading characters now. And Emmett more so than Tiff, but Tiff because she's a part of Emmett. And I want that to work. I want Emmett to be successful, especially since he's trying hard. Even though they showed an episode where he brought some girl there, in the episode he wasn't into it. That's the thing, he wasn't even into it. So this is all Tiff, and I don't know if the writing is kind of trying to make it like, let's give the woman the upper hand, which is fine if that's the case.
Punish him.
Yeah, but I still feel like that in the real world, no man is going to agree to that type of arrangement or agreement or entanglement or whatever you want to say.
I
As
think
for
the most realistic part of that storyline is Tiff
catching
wanting
feelings,
to be with that dude that she got with, and now she has an excuse to go and do it.
Mhm.
maybe.
That's the most real. She wanted to do it, and she was like, "I'm married, I can't do it." But now she has that excuse to go do it, and she wanted, and now she's free to do it. That's the most realistic thing about this.
I say another realistic thing is I think that this woman in this show is probably going to start catching feelings for this guy also, which is
It looks like
clearly
it. It
is
looks like
clearly what's on Tiff's mind because Emmett said, "Okay, any other man but this guy," and she immediately said, "No." Come on, guys. See,
he
that's
gotta
that's the
follow
reason.
rules, but she don't,
Exactly.
or
That's the
she
reason why
doesn't.
a
Right.
man would never agree to that because he know that woman is going to catch feelings more easily than a man will. Of course, men can catch feelings, but I'm saying that they're gonna catch feelings and then it's gonna turn from a physical thing to a more emotional thing, and that's when you start to lose each other. All right, and Jada. So I'll get to the Jada part. I don't want to spoil too much because I think we're going to talk about the Dre and Nina aspect of the Jada thing. So I'm going to leave that off for now. But it's sad that Jada has cancer. It's I don't, but I kind of feel like it was a piece of writing just to draw out some emotion or something because I mean I guess it's possible. I know it's possible, but like Jada's been healthy throughout. She said she got this lump checks every year, and now all of a sudden they find something. Okay, fine. But not only do they find something, all of a sudden, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, her life is she can't hold down food. She barely walking. She's so frail. Like I know it's a TV show and they gotta get to it, but that's a little unrealistic
But
to
it's
me. Like
the
She's taking
chemo
treatment
man.
though. Yeah.
When she do
she
the
is.
chemo treatment, they do you like that immediately.
I know, but still, like she in the timeline that I'm thinking about, maybe she had one or two, but it's like it's so aggressive the way that they're portraying it. So either she's gonna die and it's gonna, pull at heartstrings, or she's gonna make some miraculous recovery, which is gonna be a little unrealistic. So I'm happy. I think we said this in the past. We're okay. Jada may have been some of our mayors, and then when the cancer thing come up, we immediately felt bad. We didn't get to come back and talk about it immediately after that past episode, but thinking about it now, like I was okay with Jada leaving. Of course, I don't want her to die off the show. I was okay with
Right.
her, babysitting or coming and giving advice or blah blah blah. But they're pushing her almost in front of Emmett in my mind, and not saying it's a bad thing, but it's just like it's forced in my opinion. So
Forced.
that's my quick recap from the past 5 episodes from the Emmett Tiff and a little bit of the Jada perspective. Ralph, I'm gonna kick it over to you. Well, you guys got anything to say about Jada real quick?
I think the thing that bothers me the most about that storyline is Jada. What's the pretty young lady that the mayor's having an affair with name?
Tiff? No, no, not Tiff.
Um,
Tracy.
Tracy.
Trina,
Tracy. Tracy.
Jada, Tracy, Dre, and Nina. They all were cool enough to
Mm-hmm.
talk and have conversations. But
Go
now
out to
Jada
dinner.
get
Yeah.
cancer, and she can't even tell Nina that she has cancer.
Right.
Jada is part of the birthing group, but
Mm-hmm.
it has to be a secret that to Nina that she has cancer. So
Right.
they just had to make up a storyline right there that didn't have to be a storyline. So
Mm-hmm.
that bothers me about this.
Yeah,
Uh,
Ken.
Another thing, and like I was saying, like y'all not on Twitter, but like I I was telling y'all, like this whole season, the storyline is all woke Twitter it's all woke Twitter mob politics. It's
Mm.
defund the police. It's
Mm.
black people, you know, getting bad medical advice from doctors because of
Mm.
racism. Because
Mm.
Jada has the point is Jada had this lump in her breast the whole time. It probably was cancerous the whole time. She'd been getting misdiagnosed, and now all of a sudden it's probably diagnosed she in stage 4.
Yeah.
So that's the point there. And so, and then of course you making Dre this hero again. Dre is the Superman character of the show.
You jumping. You
Dre
jumping. You
closely
jumping, Ralph.
resembles Lena Waithe to the Superman character of the show. So like,
You
so
jumping. You
I'm
jumping
sorry,
those.
but
Yeah.
yeah, but but anyway, it was nonsense for Dre to have to keep a secret about
Yeah.
Jada's cancer from
Hmm.
the whole
From her
close set
wife.
of 2 other friends. They all
Yeah.
it's just 4 of them. Why you
Hmm.
gonna keep it from the other 2? It made no
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. I agree. Ken, you got any last comments on Jada storyline?
Not really. I mean, I did met her
Hmm.
maybe the last time we potted, and it's because she's a title character's mom, and that's all she is. And I think they're just basically trying to push to the forefront her, and I think we said this, that they trying to give too much storyline to too many different characters, and they basically diluting the show, and that's
Yeah,
and
that's a
that's
good
one of the
point.
problems that I'm having with.
No, that's a good point. Okay, fellas, we're gonna move on to the next topic. Big Ham, go ahead and give us a little recap about the Kev Jake Jemma storyline, and if you have time, throw in a little bit of Papa and Maisha.
All right, so man, so what you see going on with Kev is we come into this season and Kev is still kind of, haven't really dealt with the traumatic happenings of his sister being kidnapped and thinking she
Hmm.
dead and now she back.
Yeah,
And then, they kind of pay Kev as the conservative kid, right? So, you know, Jim is this really
woke.
militant young lady. And it's crazy. I have this super rich, super privileged
Thank you.
militant young lady, and Kev is not as privileged, but not as militant. He's got this good opportunity to go to this better school, this private school, where it's not many minorities there. He meets the super militant Jemma, and so Kev and Kev and Jake leaving the train. Kev keeps on his school uniform. Jake takes his off. Jake, for no reason whatsoever, disobeys the cop, even though the cop was a little overzealous. Disobeys, just give me your ID. And Kev told him, bro, just
Let's
give
do
me
it.
your ID,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
so Jake doesn't do it, and of course we see it coming. He gets brutalized improperly by this policeman. So it creates a storyline. So now both Jake and Kev are traumatized by that. Um, but Kev is still on the conservative side and not really want to ruffle a whole lot of feathers.
yeah,
And Jemma wanted to be her super militant self in her privileged lifestyle. Wants Kev to be more militant than what he is, and Kev is not. And Kev is kind of going through this whole the thing that those teenagers go through where they're trying to find themselves. They kind of
yeah.
like,
Right.
he's being rebellious. He's dealing with drugs. They went on a college trip. He taking ecstasy and all that. And so then because of Jake has this experience that's right in Jim's wheelhouse, they start to connect. And because Kev has not rolled with her on some things and Jake rolled with her, now she wants Kev's best friend
Hmm.
and double crosses Kev with Kev's best friend. It's just, bro, they doing Kev so wrong because we already see that Maisha with Papa and Kev was liking Maisha at one point in time. So now
Maisha
both
was
Kev
liking him too.
homeboys that took Kev last 2 chicks. And
Yep.
now he got to hang out with them. He got to go on a
Hmm.
podcast with Papa, with Kev old chick, back to Papa, producer, and Kev new chick with Jake. They together against Kev. It's crazy doing Kev wrong, but
They are.
uh, but that's just a crazy storyline. And what's wild is that when I look on social media, on the shy hashtags, that's the storyline that's kind of like getting the most. That's how
Get the most talk.
That's how trash the season has been. And the
Mm-hmm.
storyline is getting the most heat. It's a storyline about some kids and their love triangle, bro.
In the
Yeah.
love triangle. Yep.
Yeah. And so, and Jake did wrong, man. You ain't supposed to pull up on your best friend girl like that.
You can't.
Like that was just wrong. So that's messed up. So Kill lost both his chicks to his two homies.
Yeah.
He he out here all by himself.
Poor
Hey,
kid.
Kill. Hey, what y'all say about dude with the Skittles? Got to see it through, my boy.
Got to see it through, my boy. Hey man, Kev, you know what? I think it was some times where I know we didn't do the pod, but I was thinking, man, Kev is kind of my hate this show because of some of the stuff he's doing. And I think the whole fight with Jake, it just seems so forced to me. It was
Yeah.
just in the classroom, right? Like, handle that stuff outside the classroom. If Kev is always thinking about what could happen, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to do a walkout because I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to do this, that, or the other. I'm not into this protest type, whatever. I mean, feelings aside, how are you gonna decide to just get in the fight in the middle of class, and
Yeah.
then elbow some teacher and whatever? That's kind of crazy to
Yeah,
me.
man. Inadvertent elbow gonna break that teacher nose. You can't,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm an educator. I broke up several fights,
Mm-hmm.
and
Really?
I'm a big dude. When I broke up a fight between two dudes, one dude was bigger than me, and
Wow.
another kid was close to my size, and they was going at it, and I ain't never got caught like that, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And I broke up a fight in the bus, and I went and grabbed one of them, and they was clished up so tight. I picked one of them up. They both came. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, but I've never got caught out. Now my wife did break up a fight and sprain her ankle while she broke it up, but
Jeez.
Man.
I never, I have never been hit or punched or elbow hard to draw blood from a kid in the middle of a fight.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
I don't
I
know if
guess it's
it's
possible
outside the realm
though.
of possibility
Yeah,
though.
I didn't have an issue with that particular point. I was had more of an issue with Kev deciding to fight him right then and there. You know,
Young
But
but
I'm
blood,
sure
man.
they probably
yeah,
rode. I
young
don't know. They
blood.
probably did ride to school together, but they used to ride the
They
train to school together every day.
or Trig would take him,
Yeah,
or actually Douda.
Used to be Douda.
Yeah,
and now
I mean,
and
Mr.
now
Perry.
Kill kicked
Mr.
out
Perry. Kev kicked out. I was
from the
surprised
fight.
at that. I think maybe the fight wouldn't got him kicked out, but I guess he said zero tolerance for any kind of fighting. So
I
I
think
don't know if
violence
it
against
He was
a
had
fighting.
teacher.
say Ken.
It was violence against a teacher. That's what they had zero tolerance
Ah,
against.
okay. I would say
Okay.
Jake was fighting, but then Kill just got in
That's
trouble
true.
for
That's true.
for
Yeah.
getting high and drunk
Getting high, drunk on the field
on the
trip.
trip too. Yeah,
Yeah. What about Papa and Maisha?
yeah. Pop and Maisha, they going through their little love thing, and I can kind of see it coming, man.
Oh,
Papa is just
definitely,
like
definitely.
just selfish.
Hmm.
He's selfish. That's
He's
what it
just
is.
selfish. He making everything about him. He
He
was
talk a good game though, calling her queen and stuff, but it's
yeah. He
still
talk
always
good
coming back
game,
to
but
him.
he has a little chauvinistic
Hmm.
personality right there because he had no business plugging his podcast up for her and her little
Her
shoot.
time
You
to
know what I
shine.
mean? He should
Honestly, he
just been
probably
playing
shouldn't
in the
even been there.
background. So
Hmm.
so after that, I was like, yeah, my he's gonna go and throw him a stiff arm, and she threw
But
it to him.
again, man, that felt forced because all the previous seasons, Papa's always been pretty genuine and
Hmm.
Yeah,
always honest and always caring about everybody. He's never shown any signs of being dirty or selfish.
Yeah.
selfish.
So once again, I think they forcing the writing to try to promote Maisha in this sense that
Yeah.
she's outshining Papa, so Papa's getting jealous. But all along, Papa never wanted the spotlight from anybody. He was more
Hmm.
so about uplifting himself. So
Right.
again, I think they just trying to change the narrative, which it's a TV show. It is what it is. But I mean, if you're gonna do that, make it believable.
Yeah.
Don't just flip 180 on a character that's been on the show for the past 3 seasons to make them all of a sudden change. And now obviously the kids growing up and stuff, but I don't know. That's another thing
Outside of
that
his
felt
character
forced
a
to
little
me.
It's
bit. Hmm.
another woke Twitter point of patriarchy, and
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
patriarchy started young, so
Yeah.
it's an
Maybe.
Check this out.
anti-patriarchy.
Check this out. When I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Maisha, especially from like the previous other seasons, because she was like, she was like a young kid, kind of bullying Kevin because she liked him, and then she had this kind of trouble at home where she had a lot of responsibility that she probably
Right.
didn't deserve. And then, she kind of, became this person where Kevin actually liked, or they were friends. And then she started, kicking it with Papa, which also was cool to me because Papa was always being nice and stuff. And I was like, what, Papa deserves a good woman, and seemed like, a good kid, but and also seems that Maisha was that type of kid. And, they've been showing it. And then all of a sudden, she getting a magazine photo shoot. What?
Her
Like that
rapping,
came
it
out of
started
left
on
field
Papa's
to me.
podcast. I think her rapping that she did on Papa's podcast is what got her that notoriety or that recognition. So
Papa gave it a platform to do so. I mean, we know it's TV, but I was just shocked. Like, what is she doing on the cover of a magazine? Like she like 14, 15 or whatever, and on the cover of the magazine, that kind of came out of left field to me, and then that became kind of the catalyst for her and Papa's split. So it could have been the writing, but nevertheless, I think the Kev Jake Jemma thing is kind of it's kind of crazy. So let me ask y'all something. I know this isn't our love, hate, or mess segment, which I don't know what we're gonna do today. But out of those three, Kev, Jemma, Jake, who do you think is the most wrong?
Jake.
Jake.
Okay, yeah, it's unanimous. It's Jake, but
Definitely
I
Jake, man.
I still feel like that Jemma is right there with him for 49% of it.
Jimmy dirty.
Jake,
But
yeah,
Jake,
Jimmy
but
dirty,
Jake,
but
Jake been there all along. That would be like one of us when we were teens having a girlfriend and she cheating with one of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she wrong and she hurt me, you guys are the ones that's been with
That
me
we
my
used to
whole life.
respect.
Been with my
right,
boys, been
Yeah,
family. Y'all would be the most wrong.
yeah.
right.
I know. And of course I agree with you
Broke
guys.
code,
Jake
man.
Jake is yeah, Jake is
Jake broke the
definitely.
code. You can't
Jake
break the
said he
code,
family.
man.
Jake said Kev was family. You can't do that. You can't
Right.
do
Yeah,
that.
can't do it to family.
Nevertheless, Jimmy was too quick to go to Jake. Jake, it's okay. Putting his hand on his shoulder or knee or whatever when he was telling his story. Get out of here, man.
Mhm.
Get out of here. All right, Ken, go ahead and tell us about Douda, Trig, and Imani. I
First of
guess
all,
and Tracy. Might well
first
put
of all,
Tracy in there.
I hate that name, man.
Do
Douda.
that?
Yeah, I hate it, dog.
Okay. But we know who, if we had a hate segment, who what Rab's hate would be Duda's name. Um Man, listen, I'm gonna be honest. This whole Otis Perry, Mayor Perry, Douda is pretty weak, man. A weak
It is,
storyline. Like,
man. It
he's
is.
mayor and he's mad because Jake got beat up because he still got love for Jake. So he defund the police, and now the police not really protecting the citizens. And Trig and Tracy running this whole community outreach where they're the ones that's policing the street, which makes absolutely no sense at
None
all.
No sense.
whatsoever,
No
man.
sense at all. And then Imani all angry about this girl that's working in the trap house, and this one of these dudes bring over, and she decides she needs to save this specific girl, and this is
Hey,
the most vocal.
don't skip over your boy Nuck like he don't deserve some kind of announcement. Nuck was Kiesha boyfriend on the previous season.
Was it? Man, I forgot all about that.
Yes, sir.
I
Trust
forgot
me,
I
all
remember
about
fellas.
that.
Nook.
Yep. Remember that's who house Kev, Jake, and Papa went
Oh,
to
yeah,
looking
yeah,
for Kiesha.
yeah, yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
that's who Keisha was supposed to be going seeing when dude grabbed her.
Exactly.
Hey, I forgot all
Exactly.
about old Nook. But
Yeah.
so all of a sudden, Monty just feel like she got to save this girl, and they end up killing her. And so now Monty all mad that the community outreach thing ain't doing their job, although the police wouldn't have done anything either. So I don't know why she's so mad at Trig and
The
wants
tree.
Trig to save the world. But back
Mm.
to Douda. So I'm sorry. Back to Mayor Perry. He's doing his job or whatever. He's working with Gemma's dad and his wife. And then all of a sudden he decides to fall in love. Well, I mean, I'm saying fall in lust with
With
Tracy's
Tracy.
character, which to
No
me
reason.
also makes no sense. Or
None whatsoever.
I mean, okay,
She
maybe he want,
fine, but why? It's like out
yeah,
of nowhere. Why all of
maybe
a
he want to
sudden?
be with her. Maybe he want to be with her, for one night stand or 2 nights or whatever. But it's like he just all in with her, like he in the hospital bed looking for her to come see him and stuff. And that's just out of character to me, because at the
Hmm.
party he told her, you want to be with me, this is who I am, all that stuff. So Douda get hard at one point and then soft at other points, and he got his wife there that's physically taking care of him, showing concern, and he's still looking for her, which I don't know, man. Like the
That part was
storyline
kind
was
of, it was
weak.
okay for me because they kind of in like a looks type relationship too, because they was kind of separated, and then when he started running for mayor, he needed her back, so she came
Showed
back.
up, yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of like a keeping up appearances type thing, which I understand, and but again, you're right. The whole Tracy thing is just ridiculous to me. So
Ridiculous.
but they gotta push it, and I'm okay with him like looking for Tracy, even though his wife was there taking care of him, but he really ain't that into her.
Yeah, it's weak to me. That's all it is.
It's
Weak, and
kind
I'm
of
gonna get to the weakest point in a minute. But before I do that, I'm gonna revisit Trig and Imani again. Their relationship is getting all rough and chaotic, and then you introduce my boy
Jason
Little Michael
Weaver.
Jackson, Drumline, aka
Jason
Jason
Weaver.
Weaver, who
yeah.
comes in there, and he's his buddy from jail, and he's staying with him, and they having some ups and downs, and then they fall out, and so his character's kind of on the fringe right now. We don't know if he's going to end up doing something crazy or if he's done. Like I said, they introducing so many people into the main character storylines, and
It's
then
diluting the
it's just too
water.
much to keep up with. And
Hmm.
then
What was the purpose of that character?
no idea. I guess to
None
get Jason some work.
whatsoever. Unless something gonna happen to
Whatsoever.
Imani or between him or
That's the
something
thing.
something
It's gonna
like
have to be.
that.
It's had to be foreshadowing something that's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
the fear.
And so we started this podcast on the Shy, and I mentioned that the most ridiculous ending of the previous episode was the way Ronnie was killed. This
That's
is for
right.
Coogie. I literally said Coogie ain't been mentioned in 2 seasons,
Right.
and all of a sudden they bring him back, and now we see why that was idiotically thrown in to give an entrance for Coogie's mother to come and shoot Douda, which again was the most out of left field, stupid thing I've ever seen on a
That's
show.
that's
Ridiculous.
terrible, man.
And why would she
Terrible.
do it? How did she know he killed him? And check
How
this
did
out,
she know where
y'all.
he was going to be?
How does she know he's on the
Exactly. How
roof?
she get past
Exactly.
security? And
Exactly.
then check this out. Here's the thing that bothers me the most.
Hold on,
Don't
hold on. Before you say it, I'm sorry. Before you say
okay.
it, I mean, it's her son, but she really didn't care for Brandon like that, She
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 was a
Never
put
showed
user.
Brandon
Brandon
down
love.
She was a
constantly.
user. Yep.
Yeah,
She
she was a
always put
user.
Brandon down unless she needed some. But
Hmm.
so the most ridiculous thing about it is even more ridiculous than her being the one to show up and shoot Douda. And this happen on TV shows all the time, man. People come to kill you
And
and
don't
then
kill
don't
you.
finish the job. She come in there to kill him. She shoot him in the stomach. Okay, they take him down, and then she leave.
Leave.
What? I don't
She
understand. She
leave
wasn't
while
trying to kill him.
his head was still up.
Hmm.
Exactly.
His head was still up. He wasn't even dead.
So that's the
Hey,
stuff that bothers me, man.
hey,
Like,
Why she
Cougar,
didn't put a
Cougar
bullet in his
dude,
head?
yes,
Cougar dude finished running.
Yeah.
yes, yeah, he
But
did.
then check this out. Another thing that bothered me, Kendrick, you mentioned the some of the most important things. First of all, why is she back? Second of all, how did she know he was on the roof? But another thing that kind of bothered me was his wife, Duda's wife, found him, not Tracy. You
Right.
know,
Tracy
and
never
not
came
only
up here.
that, and then Tracy come to the hospital with an attitude. Like
Because
it's just
Rosalind
like,
sent for her.
what happened?
Rosalind told her
What
the dude
happened?
I was looking for. That's the
Yeah,
only
but
reason she came.
no, she came because she was mad that
About
that
that
the
check.
mayor's office had rejected something,
And
which
then
was
Rosalind
clearly
had it
Rosalind.
was Rosalind that rejected
Clearly
Exactly,
the
Rosalind.
budget.
clearly Rosalind.
Clearly Rosalind. So
Yeah.
it's
It's
like,
some
man,
crazy
this
thing
they
going on,
they
man.
they they try to tie all these storylines together, which is fine, which makes sense, which would make it cohesive. But it's like they so weak and ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's the stuff that I don't understand. And why is all of a
And,
sudden now dude are interested in Tracy? Like Tracy been in the
Again, yeah,
same block or whatever for since episode 1. So
yeah.
it's just
yeah.
stuff like that that bothers you, man.
Mm.
And then Brandon mama shoot Douda and then just moseys
Leave.
off.
Moses on, man. Moses on the loan. Who knows what she is now?
Like she
Mm.
drunk. Like, it's just awful.
It
Yep.
was awful. It was
It's
awful.
terrible.
Yeah. The season's been bad to me, man. I hate to say it,
It's
but
been
it has
awful to
been
me, bro.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, but you loyal
when I
to it, man. Trying to see it
when
through. You loyal
yeah
to it, but it's rough. And
when I
that's
was
what. And
thinking about
I'm sorry. I was just gonna really say real quick.
yeah
Like we loved this show when it first came on. We used to talk about it all the time, man. But now it's getting to the point where we have to watch the shows, and we not talking to each other about the actual content. We talk to each other about the ridiculousness of what they trying to do on the show, and that's
yeah
Right.
bad, man.
that's
That's
bad. Yeah,
bad.
it
I
is
think,
bad.
and And I think we've talked about this before, but I think the Kiesha storyline is the most realistic storyline in the show.
Yep.
Um, the fact that she has this baby. First of all, she got raped by dude. Now, people try to talk about, women getting raped and getting pregnant, which is actually rare, but she got raped by this dude multiple times. So you can
Exactly.
understand her possibly getting pregnant by this guy.
He was
She
constantly
got
messing
raped
with
by
her.
this guy, and we're glad that she chose to put the baby up for adoption other than get it aborted. We're glad about that.
Exactly. Yep.
She goes, she picks Tabitha Brown's character to be the birth mother, who was cool by that. But like I told y'all in our last part about the show, she was gonna want that baby. And I think
The father.
the
Let
most
me
realistic
interrupt.
thing was her saying she want her baby back.
Let me
So
interrupt
that was
that.
my real.
I was
Another
prepared
thing
to
is,
hold on, Ralph. I was prepared to mention that when she said she was gonna pick this lady character to take her baby, I was like, okay, so me and Ken were onto it. Obviously, they put a lot of attention to this woman as some foreshadowing that she was gonna stay in Keisha's life or she was gonna be the one she picked to keep the baby. And then Rav immediately said, Keisha gonna keep that baby, bro. And he was on point. So I wanted to give
Yep.
him his props
Yep.
on that. Yeah, but I didn't get a chance to give him his props, fellowshippers. He gave him to himself already.
Yeah. That's
so
inevitable.
Yeah, that was gonna happen.
so, but I think that's the most realistic thing. And another good storyline is her being traumatized by what she went through.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So you got this cool dude who seems to be a good dude who wants to court her in a proper way, but she's scared. She's kind of
Physical.
reluctant to be in touch. She's reluctant to be somewhere alone with him without them being in the crowd and safe. So that's probably the best storyline, the most realistic storyline that's going on
Yeah,
in the show. Um,
yeah,
but so I think like the last episode, the last thing that was said was Keisha said she wanted the baby back. I
Yeah.
think that was probably the most interesting thing that I saw. That I was like, maybe now I want to see what's going to happen in episode
yeah,
7. But
yeah.
everything else is.
It's going
I
down
do
a
kind of want to see,
downward spiral.
what's going to happen with Kev too. Even though that's just ridiculous, but I do want to see what's going to happen. Like how is Kev? Because Kev, where they at? He saw it was some the couple that and Dre was trying to counsel
Yeah.
the
They daughter.
is
Yeah,
it the niece or her little
it's like
sister or his
no. I think
daughter?
his little sister. I think it's his little sister.
Yeah, I think his little sister
Oh,
that
is
he
it?
took in. Yeah, I
I
think it's
think
his
it's his
little
little
Oh,
sister he
sister.
took in.
okay.
Yeah,
So Kill gonna try to get down on her and move on. So let's see how that's gonna work out. Yeah.
yeah. All right, okay. I know we running out of time with this topic, but I want to say one more thing because, like Rav mentioned, Keisha is probably one of the most realist and interesting storylines at this point. The other stuff seemed kind of forced or kind of out of left field and whatnot. But anyway, one thing I did not care for, and I won't spend too much time on it, but one thing I did not care for was when Keisha was interviewing people to adopt a baby. This Christian couple came in, and first of all, I felt like that they made them like overly extreme in some kind of stereotype of what some people perceive to be a religious type person, where they was like, we got to do this way, we got to blah blah blah, and we don't do this, and we don't watch TV, or we don't let kids do this or whatever. Like, I felt like that was totally unnecessary to be added into this show or into this narrative or whatever. Unnecessary because I feel like that the majority of people aren't like that. You have love for your fellow man and you believe certain things, then that's your Christianity. It's so strict. It's got to be this or nothing else. Like that's not how the Bible is. So I was a little disappointed with that particular aspect of the show. And then, so I was disappointed, right, with the couple and how they were portraying themselves. So I was like, okay, that's unnecessary. But I guess they gotta make it so Keisha doesn't really want them, even though she was looking for a couple. She didn't want that couple. Okay, fine. But then they doubled down on it with her and Tiff talking about it at Emmett's food spot to say, this was crazy and this and this. And like they just drug it on a little bit too long for me in my opinion. So I felt like that was unnecessary. It was unnecessary. That's what I want to say. Y'all
Once
wanna y'all
again,
y'all
bro.
got any quick comments about it real quick?
Once again, if you are on Twitter
Mm-hmm.
and you will hear this super woke black feminist Twitter super woke mob, it is directly in line with it. Like this,
Really.
that's why I feel like this whole I feel like this whole season is Lena Waithe's identity politics. You know, like some of the stuff I agree with Lena Waithe on, some of the stuff I don't. But just the fact that I know what line of politics she roll with, and I'm on Twitter, and that's that type of line that you see with those super woke people on Twitter who, it's almost like the anti-men, the BLM organization mission, where it's trying to break down traditional family roles and all that stuff. That seems like the that's the whole season is falling under that particular line of politics and social framework.
Yeah.
And so this is why that's why I just think the writing is trash. I feel like the writing
This
is just,
season. Mm-hmm.
yeah, this season is trash. I feel like the writing has just been Lena Waithe's identity politics that she's putting onto screen. And
Yeah.
and that particular situation, the overly super Christian, stern back, bigoted Christian thing,
Mm-hmm.
so that they talked about when most Christians that I know are not. I know some that's like that, but most of them, especially today's day and age,
Mm-hmm.
are not that way, and wouldn't say that, and wouldn't say that to
Exactly.
someone in this situation. That's
Exactly.
not
Yeah.
the way.
And
That's not the way we are.
I was just gonna add on and say, yeah, I think just the narrative and an agenda that's trying to be pushed where it's
Exactly.
whoever's writing the show is basically focusing on their opinions of everything and of how these people react or how these people react. And it's supposed to be entertainment, and it's definitely their show. They're write it the way they want. But I always kind of look negatively upon stuff like that when they try to. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna take it a bit more personally being a Christian, but just in general, like it's okay to have your own opinions and biases and things like that. But like I think it's forced, and what they trying to basically paint them into a negative light to the external world,
Masses. Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
masses, right? To the masses, and that's the issue that I had with it.
Yeah, it's like their own visual editorial. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? And when you're writing the show, you can't really be that way. When you're
Yeah.
writing the show, you have to try to be versatile enough to show all
all
360 degrees,
Mm-hmm.
exactly
the positives and negatives on all 360 degrees.
Yep.
And
right.
and it's taken away from the show. And
Yep.
we're not, and if you just friends of mine and a lot of social media, we're not the only ones who think the show garbage this season. There's a lot of people think the show trash this season.
Yeah. This
And
season
that's
is
the
rough.
reason why.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're writing it in a way that's not fully expressive of everything. And
Exactly.
Exactly.
it's
Exactly. It's one
it's
sided.
right. It's garbage.
And
It's
then look,
garbage.
speaking of garbage, one last thing I want to hit upon, guys, and Rav touched on it at the earlier show, and Keisha was trying to quail them down a little bit. But this whole Nina's cancer thing and how her secret is
Jada.
only with,
Jada cancer
I'm sorry, Jada's cancer scare and how her secret's only with Dre.
with Dre. Yep.
And so here's my issue. Initially, it was don't tell Nina until I tell Emmett.
Image.
Then she told Emmett, and then she sent a text in the middle of the night to my thanks for keeping our secret. How is it our secret? It's you the only
Exactly.
one that got cancer.
It's my
Dre
secret.
doesn't.
It should
Now
have been
she had
my
said
secret.
thanks for keeping my secret and waiting to tell Nina or something like that. That's fine. But then again, if it's a secret, why you texting her in the middle of the night when she at home with Nina? It's
Exactly.
the silliness to me. They
Right.
were like they tried to force this dramatic conflict in the show for the sake of forcing it, and it didn't even make sense. And then
Unrealistic, but
and so Nina has followed her and seeing Jada crying and stuff on her, clearly sad, but nevertheless,
clearly.
it didn't look like they were kissing or anything like that. But okay, whatever. She goes to drown her sorrows, and then ends up meeting the person at a bar, going back having a one night stand.
Maybe.
Then, as she comes home from the one night stand, that's when she decides to confront Dre about
Dre.
the issue. And
Backwards.
it goes back to what I said at the beginning. When something happens in a show, once the confession occurs, they immediately go off and never have any dialogue. So Nina found out, didn't talk about it, went and then did some foul herself, thinking she was justified, only to come find out later that it nothing was actually happening. And those are the type of things that bother me because they don't make sense.
Hey, I even feel like that the Dre Nina situation was worse than the Tiff Emmett situation, because at least Emmett had actually did something, and then he came clean, and then Tiff went and got mad. But although we disagree with that and wish that they would think about it or talk about it, Tiff's Tiff's reaction wasn't that unrealistic.
Right.
Some people get mad and walk out. This was, I see something going on. It's still unclear what's going on. I'm not gonna ask about it.
I'm gonna just
I'm,
react.
I'm
And
gonna
then
take the
bring it up.
Let me
time.
tell you what else.
Hold on, no.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the time to be my own private investigator and get the facts and the data, and then I'm not gonna confront you. Now, if she had did that and then talk to her and say, "Hey, where were you at tonight?" Or I called you, and then try to gather more information. Okay, maybe I'll let that slide. But she did that, jumped to the wrong conclusion, went and did her mess, and then came home and then confronted her. Just like you said, Kendrick, this was completely out of order,
Yep.
completely unrealistic to me.
Let me tell you what's more unrealistic. The
Uh-oh.
fact that all of them in the same friends group, and you notice, you gonna tell your significant other anyway.
Exactly.
Mhm.
You got
I
Yep.
to.
always stuff like that. I always tell if I know it, my wife knows it.
Mm-hmm.
My wife
Listen.
knows it. Why this lady is battling this disease of cancer, and you gonna keep it a secret from your significant other?
Exactly.
You out late at night, you
Right.
risk your relationship for this particular. She should have told him, man. Jada. Jada has cancer. She
Mm-hmm.
don't want everybody to know because Emmett don't know yet. So I'm just telling you, but we got to keep it
We got to keep it under
between us
wraps.
because she wants to tell Emmett herself.
Yes.
Don't tell Tiff. Don't tell Kiesha. Nothing
Don't
like
tell
that.
anybody. Exactly.
And you know what your significant other gonna do is keep that secret with you. That's
Exactly.
what happened in real life.
Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's why it bothered me as well, man.
Well, you hit the nail on the head, man. My wife got a saying: "Don't tell me if you don't want my man to know." That's what my
Right?
wife says all the time. Don't tell
Yeah.
me if you don't want my man to know,
That's
because I'm
right,
gonna
man.
tell him. I'll tell
Yeah.
him not to tell anybody else, but don't
Mm-hmm.
tell me
But he
if
gonna
you
know.
don't want my man to know. And
Yep.
that's how relationships are, man. When you become one, you become one, and so you
Right.
do stuff like that, and so like it's again, man. The show is writing to try to inject forced drama, and it
Yep.
looks exactly that way, that they're writing to inject forced drama.
Hey, and what you both said just now was facts. And the thing is, it's only one secret you would be keeping from your significant other, and that's if you're cheating, right?
Your
It's
own
no,
infidelity.
your own infidelity. It's no reason to
Yeah.
write that in the show if she's actually not cheating. You know what I mean?
Right.
If she's cheating,
Exactly.
that's one thing. But if you're not cheating, and the secret is your friend, your mutual friend,
Mutual friend.
Mutual
has
friend.
cancer. That
So
was
check
terrible
this
writing.
out. Check this out. I think it goes back full circle. And I don't normally like to do this, but I gotta agree with Big Ham on something. It goes full circle. Big Ham is saying that they are trying to make Dre Superman.
Yep.
And what
Exactly.
happens is they've just injected Nina betraying Dre's trust while
Yep.
Dre was trying to save the day for somebody else. So
Yep.
Yeah.
again, it makes Dre a bigger victim, a bigger hero, and
Yep.
that's
Empathetic.
full circle. Is what Rev was
Empathetic,
saying.
sympathetic hero.
Yep.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Um, if not to drudge this back up because it's time for us to wrap up, but if they would have introduced Brandon's and Coogie's mama to kill one person, that one person should have been Ronnie and nobody
That's
else.
the only person it should
That's
have been.
the only person I might have would
Yeah.
accepted. That's the only person I might have would have accepted. Nevertheless, Big Ham, go ahead and close us out. This was a pretty good show. I don't know if the viewers are gonna love it or hate it, but I definitely think we talked a lot about the actual feelings of a lot of people on this show
And flaws. Big
and
time
Yeah.
flaws.
flaws.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully the shot can turn it around and end better, but it's not looking good. But
Hey,
anyway, man, we want to thank y'all for tuning in with us. We apologize for the hiatus.
Yep.
A lot of it's been my fault, life,
life.
vacations, things that nature. So we're back. We're gonna try to be more consistent going forward. So the Shy was off this week, so next week there'll be a new episode of the Shy.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we can get back into it and get you a good review on it. But we want to thank y'all for tuning in to Fellowship Hall with the Twins and Ralph. We'll see y'all next time. Until then, be blessed.
Be blessed, fellowshippers.
Follow us at the Facebook Facebook
It's
page,
been
the
so long, I
fellowship.
forgot. Hey, follow us on the Facebook page, The Fellowship Hall, YouTube page, The Fellowship Hall. Follow me on social media, on Twitter and Instagram at Hamdog22, and on Facebook at Raphael Hammond, Rapheal.
Don't forget to
Y'all
subscribe.
later, man. Be
Yep. Hey,
blessed.
be blessed again, guys. Be blessed.